Morning, and I know you heard from the coordinators. Talked a little bit after the game on Saturday as well. Just really feel like there's things we can continue to get better at, but very proud of the way we continue to find a way to win, and the resolve and the way the guys come back to work each and every day, but also in the game. Each series is its own, each play is its own, and now we come to Oklahoma where each game is its own game. And so probably one thing, since you do talk to the offense defense coordinators, one thing to highlight, I think our special teams did a nice job. I know we missed the field goal, but pinning LSU deep 3 times inside the 20 and the play down on the 1, those are plays you work on, and you just get a couple times every year to really make it happen. And our guys did that, and so I'm really proud of that, along with the kickoff coverage and just the coverage in general, on kickoff punt. Our guys knew they had a challenge ahead of them this last weekend. If you really looked at what their stats were with those returners, it's pretty impressive, not just maybe this year, but over the course of their careers. And hats off to our guys. They really take a lot of ownership, not just in what they do on the field offensively, defensively, and individually, but our guys, making an impact on special teams. I'm proud of them. So, penalties, love the direction that continues to go. Just 2 for 25 yards and winning the takeover, winning the turnover margin, doing that each and every week. That's just really an identity of who we are. And we're going to have to really do that again this week because we're facing a team that I think abides by a lot of the same things that we emphasize when it comes to physicality, when it comes to, win the turnover margin, winning in the red zone, each side of the ball for Oklahoma. The same thing applies to, what we take a lot of pride in. So they have, good skill with their special teams, and you can see the field goals and their punting game. They excel there. So going to take all 3 phases to have a win come out this weekend, but ready for the week of practice. I know the guys are excited.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Katie, second row on the left.
This is a little off topic, but there's a lot of former Bama guys, NFL guys, Saban guys there at the game on Saturday. Just what's your approach having former players around, even the ones that didn't play for you, and just kind of how does that benefit the guys currently in the program?
Yeah, I love it. This is their program. It's ours all together, but they're the ones that built this and made it what it is, and love that they want to come back and are proud of what they accomplished, and hopefully proud of what we're doing right now with so much recruiting and so forth. This week was probably one of those weeks where I didn't get to see as many as I normally do, and whether it's pregame or during the day or even the weekend, saw a few of them. Booker in particular, which is a guy from last year's team, he was around, and just that excites me because that's what we want. You want the alumni to always feel like this is home and a place that they can come back to and be welcome, and want them. Especially in the off season, it's a lot easier to do, but just really integrate everyone together. Our players, hearing the stories, understanding the history, learning as well on how they can continue to be better, because a lot of these guys that are coming back have been in the NFL and understand what that next step looks like, and that's what our guys' goals and dreams are.
Jump to Nick on the front right.
Yeah, right now the offense has the fewest turnovers per game in the SEC, and the defense has the most takeaways per game in the SEC. Have you ever had a team like that, and what's been the key to having those two at the same time?
Yeah, it's emphasis. We talk about what our identity is, and what you just heard from me, and the things that I think are important are what our team heard Sunday. When we got in the team room and reviewed what went well, where we got to improve. But we talk about that. It doesn't happen by accident. We're working on ball security drills. We're working on, stripping the ball, knocking it out. Nakai's punch on the ball was phenomenal. We made sure we highlighted that, not just what he's doing as a player, but that specific play, and emphasize even the one that we didn't get earlier. I believe it was the first drive of the game. And so, you keep doing those things. You play the percentages. I brought up the Missouri game where a couple didn't fall our way, but in the end we got some interceptions to finish out in the fourth quarter. And we're just talking about those plays, and it goes back to defensively make the offense snap it again. The Tennessee game and the interception for a touchdown, the play at the end of the game against South Carolina. our guys believe and they know if they give the effort and practice and work on those skills, protecting the ball as an offensive player, going after it defensively and have that mindset and attacking, the habits or the habits that we have will lead to plays being made and you create your own breaks.
Go to Chase, far left.
I know the coaching mentality tends to be this is this year and last year was last year, but is along with that, is there any reminder for the players that, hey, this is the team that kind of wrecked things last year goal-wise, or do you leave that to the veterans and the captains to remind players of that?
We have a lot of new players on the team, so there are players that didn't experience that. The ones that did certainly better remember and understand that. More importantly, that you're facing a really good program that, obviously we went to their place and got beat up pretty good last year, and that's who's coming to town this week. And so, Coach Venable's done an amazing job instilling a culture there. And, we got a team that is coming here hungry. They're in the hunt for a lot of different things as far as reaching their goals. But, for us, we do then try to make sure that we always are focused on really this team being, what we're centered on and us improving. And that's the focus is, again, how did we get to this point this year to where we've had the success? What's it going to take to be our best on Saturday? And so again, you try to hone in on that, but you can't help but remember, the past. And those questions that you asked just now were also asked, a few weeks ago when we played Vanderbilt and so forth. And so, our guys, should remember that because our experiences help us be better the next time around.
Go back middle, Alex. I believe you had a question.
Two unrelated questions. One, what can you tell us about Cam DeBoer, his injury and his status this week? And then the relationship with Dave Roberts. Can you kind of tell us where that started and how that formed?
Yeah, I expect Cam to be ready to go. He got dinged up a little bit in the game, but he's looking good. He might be early in the week, held up some, but should be fine as the week goes on as far as what I see right now and hear as well. So with Dave Roberts, just a couple years ago, got a chance to go watch a Dodgers game with Alexis, my daughter. She's softball, and so baseball, that piece right there, it was just fun to go there and watch a game and got to spend some time with him, in the clubhouse afterwards. And I was just blown away at, first of all, how much time he gave me in the middle of his season. I know how hard that is as a coach myself. And then we've just stayed in touch. And this summer I went up and saw him play up in Milwaukee. And again, we just stay in touch. I can't help but notice how great of a job he does of bringing these guys together that he manages. They're all such great players, but he finds a way to have a role for each of them having just such a low ego and enjoying the process of what they're doing and finding ways to win, and the resiliency it took, obviously, the last 2 years in both World Series. It's just amazing. And I think there's a lot of similarities, in our styles maybe. There's probably differences too. It's a different sport, but I got a lot of admiration for how he manages and how he gives his time, and the presence he has when he walks into a room, it just really blows me away. And again, him coming here this last weekend, something that was kind of on the docket, going back quite some time, I think probably a month or two ago, and so I was really looking forward to it, and I think he had, they had a great time watching the game, but we also had a great time taking a few nuggets to learn from to help us be better as coaches and be better as players.
Go right across the aisle to Joe.
Coach, a couple weeks ago, Lane Kiffin insinuated that Oklahoma, Brent Venables, was very good at stealing signs or gathering information. Just what's your perspective on that as you go into this week against Oklahoma, into the offensive play calling process as it pertains to game day?
Yeah, you got to adjust. I think across the board, across the country, there's some element of every team doing something, and so for us, I think our staff does a pretty good job, but you certainly got to make sure you're always, doing your best to change things up. And, we got huddle, no huddle, and there's a lot of different things we do too. So I don't, we just got to continue to do what we've done, not just this year, but years past as well.
Front row, Colin, right on the left.
Hey, Kalen, there's kind of this coaching cliche that, the horizontal passing game can be an extension of the run game. I'm curious, do you buy into that? Is that something that could kind of lead to more, shots downfield if the run game isn't working?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I think that's a lot of what our offense has done over the years. But you still want to be better in the run game than what we are, and we have been. So I don't think it's a systematic thing that we have with our structure. But you want to make a defense have to defend everything from sideline to sideline, and have them be concerned about what you're going to do vertically. And so we can talk forever because I would love to, because I love that part of it, the style and the schematics of it. But you saw in the game the other day. I mean, we had tight ends catching it on perimeter screens off of some runs. Isaiah Horton had some just different things to stretch the defense this way, to open up seams, to be able to run the football, and then the run game opens up the play action, which is now more of the vertical piece, and even your screens and goes and things like that. That's a part of, I think, what most good offenses do.
Back left, Theo.
Coach, you look at some of the struggles Connor Talty's had, and you obviously went 2 games before this one, the past 2 without attempting a field goal. How has it affected your team's decision making on 4th down, as far as maybe going for it in situations, punting it on some of the further, and how do you think that'll play out over the course of the season with regards to having him kick? Or
I actually don't think it's affected me much at all. He kicked a 40 plus yard field goals in the game. One got us the early lead, 3-0, and then the one at the end makes it 2-score game, and that's, I think it was 44 maybe, somewhere in there. The one that they missed. I think the great kickers can overcompensate for maybe the execution of the rest of the snap and the hold not being perfect. And that's going to continue to be the growth. And him, I think the thing that I really like is when he's had maybe one that didn't go well, he's able to respond and come back and make the next one. And there's been some big ones that he's made that have stretched games, and it's been maybe in the last minute, but it's been late. And so, I just think it's just part of the growth. This is really his first year out there, and him being able to respond and just take whatever happened, move it off to the side, and go make the next one, because that's what's in front of him. That's what you got to do. And I think we punted probably about as close as we've been all year, late in the game there, and that's the one that we pinned him deep. But we were just so far out, and it was, I think, a 3rd or 4th and extra pretty long. And so, even to me, that really wasn't one that was as hard of a decision. But I really can't say that it's affected, my choices to go. I think we're going to be aggressive. You guys have heard that from me. We're going to play to win at the right times. But, we get down in there. I trust our defense too. If we don't convert like we did, early in the game, I trust that our defense will have a great mindset to go out there and go play ball. And it doesn't affect them. You can't put them in bad spots over and over again, but they're gonna bow up and do their job. And we've talked about that a lot in team meetings.
Finish up with Emily Grace, right in the middle.
Coach, you mentioned the process. Coach Grubb mentioned the process. This time of the year, when the noise continues to ramp up, how important is it for your team and even your staff to stay focused on that process, fall in love with the process, not necessarily the dividends of that?
Yeah, I think this year, every year's got noise, right? But I think this year it's been so much different types of noise that we've had to deal with, that again, we've become, I think, a pretty good team when it comes to pushing that out and understanding that what's in front of us is all about us, and how we think, how we respond, the work we put in. And so tomorrow morning, I already told the guys on Sunday, we got a hard reset. We go back to work, and we understand our strengths, we understand our weaknesses, who we are as a team, and we just continue to get better. And so you're exactly right. That process and that weekly process, we need to keep refining individually and as a team what we're doing, evaluating now as we get in the season. What's our practice plan look like? Just the little tweaks, and you learn from the years and years and years of coaching, what that should look like, what worked, what didn't work. And then the players, what's the note-taking process look like? What's the rehab process recovery, and all of that. And so there's so many pieces to it. And then the mental part that you're talking about, where what everyone says doesn't matter. You know, there's still so much football to be played. We have big games, and, you know, none's bigger than the one right in front of us. So I think we'll be pretty locked in.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.